This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be News, news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Brother Gregory, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor once again. Always have the true blessing. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic and getting better. How's your weather there? Y'all getting any of that snow coming from the...
It missed us. We got a lot of rain and stuff. It missed us. Went all the way up to St. Louis and Kansas City and Chicago. It missed us, though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll work. It is called wintertime, huh?
Yeah, it's called wintertime. I was kind of worried about when it's going to come around, but I guess it's wintertime, like you said.
Yep.
Cause it's a lot of stuff happened since last time we talked. I mean, it's like, 3 or 4 weeks worth of incredible stuff.
So much is happening lately, though.
Yes, sir.
The case in South Africa, that was a good example of white boy privilege. I mean, there's something about white. They're not white supremacists because they don't have enough money to be that, but they just. I tell the white folks that I hire for me, you can't think for me because you function with 300 years of white privilege. Mm-hmm. So one of them told me, Steve said, not me. I said, man, light-complected Negroes have privileges. And so one day when a new group of mind mentality come through, see, there's no way that we can look at privileges as blacks and see what happens to white women. Mm-hmm. I mean, remember, a white woman didn't get the right to vote till 1921 in America. And that's his mother. She came over on the boat with him. That's his sister. That's his wife. That's his daughter. That's his aunt. I said, God, if he treats his mother like that, my mother better not come out the house. Because you think about right now, a white woman today with a Ph.D. makes 87 cents on the dollar compared to a white man. And this is what, I mean, they're getting hit with two things, and it traces back to the civil rights movement. The legislation we put there didn't say for men only or for Negroes only. And so white women started having some rights that they never had before. And because of the federal law, they have to give them certain jobs. They got some they ain't going to never get. But then every time you see a white woman walk into a hotel with a credit card or a downtown restaurant, that's a white boy's job she had. Mm-hmm. And then to top that off, he got a black president. So, can you imagine? You see, the first year that Obama became president, I said, wow, man, that's going to run white folk crazy. Now, if you said that to white folk, they wouldn't believe it because they don't know that hidden stuff is down in them. Mm-hmm. They don't know that. And so it started coming out. Yes, we're going to make him a one-term president. First, he wasn't going to be a president. Then he's a one-term president. Now he's a two-term president. Mm-hmm. So once I run you crazy, and ain't nothing left for me to do, but just run you mad, and there's no cure for a mad person. They ain't never cured a mad dog. They just take them somewhere and just leave them, huh? And so that's what we going through today. And the whole world is affected by it. Why the whole world sit back and let happen to black folks and women? What we looked at, and now the whole penalty is being paid off to you. One day, somebody's going to come on this planet and explain to us that that woman was made by the same universal God as you. And so, do you think some order going to stand by and let you treat one of my children better than another just because you said she's not you? And so when you stop and think about, but I can get you to buy into that when I can get you to buy into the story of Mary. She was, implanted by the universal God. But if you go back to the story, there was nobody on this planet but Adam. Remember the story? Mm-hmm. And then Adam said to God, not to Jesus, because all that wasn't here. Not to the Catholic Church, said, God, I am lonely. And then when the story got wild, is when God didn't say, how can you be lonely when ain't nobody here but you? And I know because I have not made nobody but you. Now, once you get past that, man, it's over. And if you continue, they said they had 2 sons, Cain and Abel. Hmm? See, they don't even have no girls. It's a whole man thing. And then one boy killed the other. So why are they talking about crime in Chicago? Wasn't but 3 people on the planet, and there was a homicide there. And so what's your problem? They didn't even have guns. And then one boy killed the other. Remember that?
Right.
Let's put 4 fingers up. I'm going to show you something. You got 4 fingers up?
Yes, sir.
That's Adam, Eve, Cain, and Abel. Now, one boy killed the other one, so you got 3 fingers left now, right?
Right.
Yeah, you got the boy, you got Adam and Eve, right? So then he went out and begot him a wife. Now you see where the word MF came from? They won't make like that's a Negro thing. Well, it might be a Negro thing in a true story. This is mythology. I mean, just check what we just said. It's here. And so when you look today at going full circle, and so when I look over there at South Africa, and I mean, he gets scared, he runs into the bathroom, and see, again, that's scared of black folks. He's scared of white folks, I'm scared of black folks. Because if I do certain things to you, or my family do certain things to you, I kind of expect you to do certain things to me, but they can't think like we think. When we came here for the March on Washington in 1963, our friend Kennedy had 4 to 7 divisions of military people stationed in perimeter around Washington, D.C. Because they, in their head, believe if someone did to them what we've had done to us, you wouldn't come here and be peaceful. So that's what that's about. It's that fear of a myth, and so consequently, when you look at, you know, the whole South African thing, that he thought he heard something and he ran into the bed. He laying right in the bed next to her. And he didn't say, hey, baby, come, get under the bed. That's what I would say. He reaching under the bed to get his gun and run to the bathroom, and the door is locked. What burglar going to burglarize your house and lock a door in the bathroom? And then so he shoots her 4 times. First he said he wasn't out on his blades, so that means they saying the bullets was too high for him to be down on them little stubs, right? And so then he takes that polo stick and beat the door because he ain't got no legs, no feet to kick it. But they say the polo stick had blood all over it, you know. And with all of that, you still got to give him a trial, but you don't have to give him no bail. Let me tell you something, man. If you fell down the steps and your wife was coming up the steps, or your child, and you fell and punched her in the face and fractured her skull 4 times. Okay? Yeah, knocked her teeth out, busted her eardrum, and they still got to give you a trial, but they're gonna let you out on bail. And so they say bail's not a punishment, just to see to it that you show up. Well, come on now, y'all know y'all use bail punishment. And so again, that's the next big movement. I mean, that's mild compared to, you know, you got societies where a woman get raped and the father or the husband kills her. She's disgraced the family. And so all of that now we're about to see that whole thing change. And I don't know if men can handle it. I do not know if a man can handle it. That's like black folks. I'm so used to y'all being in your place. I wouldn't know how to live without a slave. And why y'all going to make me?
Yes, sir.
You know, And when you think about the stupidity, you know, slavery is one horror, but to be enslaved by somebody stupid is another horror. For instance, I can't drink out the same water fountain with you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I can't use the same toilet as you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I can't eat in the same restaurant as you. Now, you the slave master and I'm the slave. I'm your house boy, my wife your house gal, right?
Mm-hmm.
When she in there making them biscuits, man, and I'm in there fixing up the pantry and everything, am I stupid enough to believe you got a separate toilet for me in the house to go to?
Mm.
You have a separate toilet in your house? Or am I stupid enough to believe my wife has a separate toilet? You got a separate drinking fountain for me in your house? And so that just shows you the ignorance. When George Wallace, the ex-governor, deceased of Alabama, when he's telling them white folks, no, we inferior and the races shouldn't mix, and he get on a plane and fly to New York. What kind of plane was he getting on? When it wasn't a private plane.
Yeah, right.
So that's all of the craziness that type of thing bring, and eventually it will bring you down by itself. I was down in Mississippi, this white dude standing on the corner, man. We was bringing turkeys in, and we had a big, huge truck with an Illinois license plate, Land of Lincoln. This white boy threw a brick at the truck, man. And I ran over to the side because there was some folks in there might have killed him because there wasn't some black folks talking about turning the other cheek.
Mm-hmm.
I said, don't move, man. Don't move. Look in my face, you know. There's some folks in that car that might hurt you by you throwing a brick at their truck. So all I'm asking you to do is stay where you are. When I move, you move. When you get around that corner, run. And he did, and I saw him later. That night we were going somewhere, and I saw him, and I walked over and said, man, that's this other guy that told you to run. And I just need to ask you, man, why would you throw a brick at a truck? I mean, you that angry at black? No. The license plate, Land of Lincoln. That's what Illinois license plates have, Land of Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
So how can a white person be angry enough to throw a brick at a truck that has a license plate with Lincoln's name, but they won't get rid of the $5 bills? There's his name and his picture on it. Huh?
Yes, sir.
You say, wait a minute, hold it, bro. You know? and so when you look at that, dealing with the news that came out of South Africa today, you know, and then it just shows you how when you get trifling and let that whole craziness of fear and attitude reach past you, then look at a career. Here's a career that the whole world was looking at because it was a tragedy. Born with a handicap, a deformality, and had no legs since you were a boy, and rise all the way up to the top and make the Olympics. That's the epitome of manhood and sexhood. That's why Olympics never was for women at one time. When the movement started catching up, they had to start opening up different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so consequently, here now, you know, from its background, it looked like he ever had no big money till now.
Mm.
And all that's gone the way. And I'm so glad that they find, no, look, I can't say it like I got it wrong. She was a beautiful white woman. It's hard for me to say that because I don't see that many pretty ones.
Yes.
I've been looking at gorgeous sisters, but she was, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what she looked like when the makeup was off, you know.
Right.
The reason I said that every time a white woman gets killed, you hear them white folks on the news saying the very stunning, the very attractive, the very gorgeous. I said, have a white boy ever killed an ugly white woman? Or do they become pretty and gorgeous after they dead, you know? And so what I would hope would happen out of this here, I mean, he led the world. He led the world on handicap, persevering, and people coming around and helping and made it all the way up to the top. And even those who will never make it like that, they can feel good. Because here's one of their own. Even if I was black and handicapped, I'd say, wow, maybe there's a chance for me.
Right.
So his part's over now. Would I like to see, because of her death, women and decent folks around the world rallying behind the no bail? Not behind, just behind no bail. And you have to believe what happens to women. He can get by with it because he's a man, but it's hard to believe if he was a man. I mean, if she was the woman and did that to him, she'd be under the jail.
Right.
And so consequently, a woman going to bar at 4 o'clock in the morning get raped, we won't know why she in there. Let me tell you, if a woman is a prostitute, I still don't have a right to rape her if she say no, huh?
That's right.
What is this about? Well, what was she doing in that? Do you see that you see that that leather outfit? Well, man, if I'm in a bar at 4 o'clock in the morning and some dudes rape me, you ain't gonna hear nobody saying, "What was he doing in there?" Huh?
Right.
Well, I mean, she's a woman. Well, you see prostitutes out. You pick up prostitutes in the street, and they get an exemption, huh? It's okay for them to be out long as she's out there to service you, huh? And so as we sit and hope that the one good thing would come out of this would be a great woman's movement, especially if that little girl in India, Pakistan,
right,
guys walked up to her and shouted, and only as the grace of the decent people to give their services and their prayers and their help, she's pulling through it. And so behind that, if the women would just rise up, you don't have to. We've already proved to you don't have to be doing nothing. Huh? If it go down like that, she's laying in bed asleep. And he heard something. And all of that ended his career, ended his life as he knows it, and ended her life. That's it. Her life or her career is over. And then the family have to listen to all of that male stuff, that man stuff, of something that don't even seem right. And I can't remember the little girl singer that committed suicide in Arkansas.
Mindy McCree or something. I think her name is like.
Yeah, but the reason I'm bringing this up, I never heard of her. But she killed a dog on the porch before she killed herself. You know that?
Right. Yes, sir.
Have you heard anybody complain about killing a dog?
No, I mean not just Mike Vick. No.
No, I'm saying with her. I mean, have you heard?
No, right. I never heard anything about that. No, sir.
She shot a dog. The dog didn't even heard nothing about that.
Right.
So that white folks, they write what they want. They slant it like they want it, and they do it like they want. And
so even with Oscar Pistorius, the guy in Blade Runner, I mean, they kept on trying to draw comparisons with O.J., but I saw it more like a Robert Blake, Phil Spector situation, more so than an O.J. situation.
Yeah, well, you look at Blake, and he goes into a restaurant,
right,
and he leaves with his wife, and then he forgot he left his gun.
Right.
Well, I mean, what do? You go in a restaurant and you check your gun. Where you put it? They have like coat check, gun checks. Or did you leave it in your seat? And from the time you left it in your seat in the car, somebody didn't come by to pick up the dishes or look at it and see the gun. And then when you came back, she was dead. Now that could be a true story, but you got to do more explaining than that.
Right.
Why were you carrying a gun? Yeah, you might explain it. Why a whole lot of people carry guns. I don't know how many people go into a restaurant and take their gun off and sit it next to them. Whatever you were scared of can jump you while you getting eat some of them noodles.
That's right. I mean, police officers don't do that. I guess they have their guns on while they eat a donut or whatever.
Yeah. You got cops, detectives, guards, bank guards, people drive Brinks trucks, Wells Fargo. I never see them come in a restaurant and pull their gun off and sit it on the table or something. I know I leave. You know. And so again, that's not switching around and let it been her.
Mm.
And so I hope that somewhere this movement for the women can take her, because as long as the women's held down, that's another woman over there that's born, giving birth to a child, and because she didn't have certain privileges, the child suffers. And so when you stop and think about a child whose mother and father had PhD, not the daddy, the mother and the father had the PhD.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they're 5 years old, they have a vocabulary of 5,000 words. A husband and wife, or a man and a woman that finish high school, by the time they child 5 years old, they have a vocabulary of 2,500 words. If me and my wife have never, finished grade school, then our child have a vocabulary of 2,500 words. So as you hold one group down or one agenda down, you affect generations on back. So and so consequently, we can rectify that now if you have progressive thinking and said, okay, let's take the vocabulary of a 5-year-old child, that's 5,000, mother and father, PhD. Let's look at the words that they heard. And let's get a rap group. I'm talking about a famous rap group, and let's rap these words, right? And let this child hear it from birth.
Mm-hmm.
And then would that work? Have conversations with the words and it with rap music behind it. And so you see, that's the great thing to make the world a better place. I'm not talking about the president as a politician, Democrat or Republican. I'm saying that everybody on this planet, you can't get insane enough not to know that the most powerful human being on the planet is the President of the United States. The mightiest nation on the planet won't be in a few more years is the United States. So what does that mean? That means every child, every child, and we even help the Republicans, the black Republicans, with what I'm fixing to say. Every child on this planet, white, that's 4 years old, the only president they've ever seen of the United States is a man look like me.
Mm-hmm.
All over the world. You don't have to teach nothing. Television do that. Every 4-year-old child in their memory bank, you can't erase it. Looks like me. They don't know there been white ones. So now he wins a second term. So that means in 4 more years, every child that's at least 8, 9 years old, 8 years old. Huh? See a president, the most powerful nation in the world, a black person. Think about that, man. That is. And then if they get a white president after him, them 9-year-olds say, wow, where'd they come from? How did America get a white president? Wait, Jesus Christ. They'd be sitting there saying, wow, what happened? And so this is why shows like yours, this is why they got to come up with information that they never had to come up with before. This is why there's 40,000 internet radio stations, that just like you have. That's just in America. So, you go back to when you wasn't born, man. And when you was 1 year old, we didn't have nothing but NBC, CBS, ABC, and it was all run by corrupt, heathen thugs to promote white supremacy. And so, my grandmother, if she was alive, she'd think white supremacy is the Ku Klux Klan. Ku Klux Klan, it couldn't be nowhere around real white supremacy. They'd kill them quick. What Hitler did. Hitler didn't declare war on Africa. He declared war on white folks. I'm not just talking about Jews. He declared war on Germans. when he's talking about on the perfect race, he wasn't talking about getting Negroes off the planet. He's talking about them misfits over there in Germany.
But he broke the British Empire, right? He broke the British Empire.
Yeah. You know, so they wasn't nothing but a bunch of thugs and hoodlums and misfits. They just didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many of them was. They just thought they was normal. And so when you stop and think about, you know, and then when you hear people hear the truth, they get angry. Angry. Wait a minute. I mean, you got people get angry because the doctor tell them the truth. You know, you got cancer. You got the worst form of cancer ever seen. Now, they're woofing on the doctor. They're not going and look in their refrigerator or check their house for what kind of fumes they got, you know. And so in the whole world, so I'm saying with radio stations like yours, and you ran that jingle, piece that answer, all over the world, man. They pulled into that. And I was at a Martin Luther King festivity at the inauguration of the President of the United States. And Jamie Foxx was talking at the Martin Luther King Monument. And he interrupted his speech and said, I want to thank Brother Dick Gregory there. And, man, what you said about Django and Spike Lee, man. No, wait, I ain't through. He said, I cannot tell you how much that raised the sales, the ticket sales. Huh? Why? Because I'm trusted. People have been around me long enough to know I'm not grinding no axe. I want to know why he said what he said, knowing what I know. Knowing that Alex Haley didn't write Roots, white dude. Murray Fisher, the senior editor of Playboy magazine.
Right.
Huh? And so you can prove it different ways. I mean, when Alex died, I believe he was killed. Because after the government used you, they threw with you. On page 122 of Malcolm, he said Dick Gregory, that Malcolm told him Dick Gregory. Malcolm told Dick Gregory about Elijah Muhammad's women. I know nothing about that, but that's what the government do when they come in. You know, it's like that crap we looked at the other day, and that's what I thought about you. Radio shows like you, that television special on Betty Shabazz.
Oh, like the Betty and Coretta, the movie.
What's
on Lifetime
about that? Yeah. Let me tell you what that movie was about first.
Okay.
Betty and Coretta, they wasn't that close of friends. They got her getting on the plane, coming up here to visit her going down there to visit, right? I was there midnight the next night when Betty was murdered, and not by her son, right?
So she was not murdered by her grandson, you saying?
No, baby, don't say thank. I would never get on your show and say thank.
No, you know.
What I know.
Yes, sir.
One, she lived in Mount Vernon, New York, okay? The movie showing her living in New York City. The news conference that next morning was the New York police and the New York mayor to convince people all over the world of the legitimacy of this. Did you hear me? They took her to a hospital in New York, right close by Mount Vernon. Now, my son was one of the financial analysts for the city of New York. He couldn't tell them white folks how to spend $34 billion. They couldn't touch it till the analysts had regulated it. And so the hospital, the financial analyst determined the money each hospital. So that was the hospital. He was there. He moved in there with his staff to make sure. She had a tracheology in her throat, tracheology in her throat. You can't talk when you have one of those in your throat. So that scene where Coretta came to the hospital and they was talking, that's a lie. Her son was 12 years old. That thing they showed us in the movie wasn't no 12-year-old boy. And I don't know if you're aware, that ran all day Sunday, gonna run all week. Do you realize the next day after it ran over and over, they arrested that boy on a plane, getting on the plane?
Iran, yeah.
Iran to Memphis. Did you see that?
I heard about it, yes, sir.
Well, here's why they do that. They just showed you this criminal, this thug, and then the next day you get arrested. So the first thing you think, oh, he's always in trouble, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So now, let me tell you what happened. I was with a group of demonstrators in, where were we? We were in Detroit demonstrating against, did you hear this story, man? A guy, his wife, hold it 1 second, 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. They fixing the window. The bug saw what was going. So listen. So we get a call that the guys, Lord and Taylor, had been choked to death by the security guard, right?
Mm.
So we go in. Here's the story, though. The guy, he went to Lord and Taylor and spent like $3,000 and left and came back 3 weeks later. And the folks recognized him, right? Because I got credit cards now, right? So they approached him and said, look, if you have a driver's license and a Social Security card, credit card, we'll, you don't have to pay cash for this. We can get this on credit, you know. So he filled out the application, and while he's filling out the application, the two little girls, little bitty tots, you know, like 7, 8, was, you know, going around the store, and they found these little earrings. Dad, can we have these? And the mother, just wait till we finish this here.
Mm.
So she gave them to the mother, and she just put them in her pocket while they was waiting to finish this, right? And so now they loaded up with all the stuff. And so he goes to get the car where it's parked and drive it to the front door so they can load all the stuff up they bought. And meanwhile, the security guard said, Miss, did you put something in your pocket? She said, no, I don't think so. She said, oh, yeah, these earrings. I forgot that we stood there so long filling out that. But no, we're too late now. You were stealing. So, no, the girl, I'm sorry, the little child had them. And so he pulled on her, and the mother naturally went over and snatched him, and he grabbed the mother and choking her. The father's coming there and grabbed him. He choked him to death. Choke him to death. So now there's an outcry from the folks in Detroit, NAACP, the group, so it goes out. So we all come in. Martin Luther King III, Joe Madison Radio, Al Sharpton, Urban League. We all go in, and now the town is upset because the brother is calling for a march on day after 4th of July. We were shocked that almost 70,000 people showed up. So while we sitting there, the mayor and the police chief want to talk to the group before we make a statement. So they sent a black police woman in, supposed to be number 2 in charge. And she says, Mr. Gregory, can I talk to you? I just always admired you. I just want to, just for y'all's own protection, we have videotape of the whole family shoplifted. So I said, well, miss, we're not here dealing with a theft. We're dealing with a murder. We'll deal with shoplifting later.
Right.
Oh, I just wanted to just let you all know Dr. King, son, is here, and Al Sharpton, and a lot of top black celebrities. I just didn't want you to be embarrassed. Oh, no, we're not embarrassed. We're embarrassed over what had happened to this man here. So she leaves and comes back an hour later. I had informed everybody what she told me.
Mm-hmm.
So now the police chief and the mayor comes in. He want to explain to us what happened. We said, wait a minute. Explain this black woman police here about, now this happened about 15 miles outside of Detroit, but it's considered Detroit suburb. They explained to what she meant when she said you all had videotape. Well, we don't want to get into that. That's evidence. Well, why does she come in here and tell us? So now we go out and we have the press conference, and then we come back for the rally.
Mm-hmm.
And back for the rally, we decide that we're going to have a video outside the federal court and asking the federal government to come in. And so we sit out there all night. That was Friday. I had to go to a health convention on Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I land in Philly, and that's when I hear that Betty is critically ill. They don't know if she's going to make it. So I called my wife. I said, I didn't have cell phones. I didn't get cell phones until last year when all the public phones started disappearing.
Oh,
So I called my wife. I said, baby, you hear about Betty? She said, yeah, I just heard of it. What do you mean? It happened last night. She said, Greg, they just now. I said, wait a minute. Nobody that famous can have that type of tragedy. And the AP holds the story up till this morning?
Mm-hmm.
So I called Joe Madison. I said, Joe, I called Lil, but her time must be wrong, must be off. I said, when did you hear about Betty? He said, just a little while ago. I said, this happened before 11 o'clock last night. He said, let me check you. I'll call you back. And he said, yeah, you're right, but this AP story says 10:23. It was sent out this morning. I said, well, something ain't right about that. Now, I knew Betty well, and I knew she didn't smoke. I just thought she was cooking something in the kitchen, and something blew up on her. So now I said, wait a minute. So I called some people, and I said, well, I'm going to see if I can speak early. I'm going to jump on a train, go to New York. So I did. Got off the train, took a cab to Mount Vernon. Got there. What floor did Daddy Shabazz say? Went up, and some neighbors came out and said, yeah, it was awful. Said, we heard the noise, and a couple of us looked out and we saw it. And what did you see? She said 4 men with hoods on. I didn't say Ku Klux Klan, I didn't say black or white.
Mm-hmm.
It said hoods, like they was trying to cover up their identity. And so now they talking about the boy. And here's people. I go around the corner where the fire station is, not that far from there. And they got a different story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now I leave and I come back. Now my son is there and has all the children's there, and we talk. So the mother of the child, Malcolm. So then I find out that they found Malcolm wandering around in the rain, like semi-conscious, where anybody can give you a drink, put the stuff in your food.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes knock on this white woman's door. No shoes on. Torrential rain. Well, she opens the door. Yeah. Come on, we know how quick a white woman will open the door for a black. It's raining so hard you can't only see, but you can maybe bring him in the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, and then how long did he stay here? You know, see, I already suspect whatever happened with the government, she's part of it, right?
Mhm.
So I said, well, is everybody just kind that you were able to, you know, locate? Oh, how did you know who he was? See, I saw it on TV. Now, I know the news didn't get released
Mhm.
till the next morning, so I know she lied, right?
Mhm.
And then I remembered that Percy Sutton was his mother's lawyer, so I called Percy Sutton. Oh, Percy, are you part of this too? So now he's at child home for truancy children or whatever it is. So I talked to his mother, and I said, here's what you need to do. There's no way you can go there and ask your son some real questions because they'll kill him and take somebody and the thing kill him. Just talk to him and nice, and you're happy to hear him. And if you can, ask him, where was it? If you can't, don't even worry about it because they will take him out. And everybody believes somebody loved Malcolm X so much, they killed for what he did to the grandmother. Right?
Mhm.
So up until then, anytime you heard the word Malcolm, you thought of Malcolm X, right? This great warrior, one of the fine minds on the planet. After that, you hear Malcolm, right?
Mhm.
You think of a murder by his grandson. See how they do it? See how they... And so now we stay in the hospital until she died. And so get back to that movie. The movie wants to tell you that Coretta Scott King, for the first time, about all these bogus tapes that Hoover was making on King and compromising positions. Coretta said, no, we got to do something. We must not let these out. Now, you just told the whole world. Here's what they was doing, man. Let me tell you. Let's say you have bugged the government, right, about some show you ran, right?
Mhm.
Let's say you came here to Washington, D.C. because somebody would like to do a movie. Now, you don't know that's the CIA talking, right?
Mhm.
Or the FBI talking, right?
Mhm.
So you come here, but you don't know that 98% of the gay and lesbian bars in Washington, D.C. is run by the CIA and the FBI, okay?
Mhm.
So they said, well, let's have lunch or something. So you don't know you going into a gay bar, right?
Mhm.
So you there and you talking to this so-called business person, right?
Mhm.
And in the process of talking, the guy said, "Oh, wait! I got to run and get this number out my car and call my wife, right?
Mhm.
Or call the office or something, right?" So he goes, and when he goes, there's a guy sitting next to you, right?
Right.
That's why I never sit in a bar when you go in by yourself, because you're not responsible for who's sitting next to you. When you sit at a table, better a bar you are. So they taking pictures, quick, and the guy said, "Oh, good, what is your name? Oh, God," and hug you and kiss you, and now they got a picture. See how it works?
Mhm.
Now they have a picture. And so when you stop and look at when they go out to frame you, with the government making recognition, so now they sit down and they do tricky things. I've been on King Week festivities, and I've seen little children in church, man, sound more like King than King on I Got a Dream. So you know what they do when they bring in Hollywood actors, right?
Mhm.
And so Coretta didn't say that. They waited till she's dead. They didn't even know the movie was being made. Huh?
Mhm.
And so that gets out. And if my grandmother was alive, she can't separate Hollywood from fiction, although this is supposed to be a true story. Huh?
Mhm.
So she sees Coretta agreeing that those horrible stuff cannot be released. Why wouldn't somebody think? See, once you release them, then the King family and the people loved them enough to go and bring in people who can check tapes for voice and all of that. And it probably wouldn't stand up, What they didn't show, and will never show, that famous picture when King was shot.
Mm-hmm.
Those 5 people pointing up. Nobody's ever said, how'd they know it wasn't going to be another shot? Huh? How'd they know that wasn't a bunch of redneck clanners who come down there and kill everybody on the back? How'd they not know that? And when you see that picture, get a good look at it, because King's on the ground and nobody's bent over him. That's how staged that picture was. And so when you look and see, how it go down and what go down and how they doctor things and all we know is, it's the government. Think about how many people don't trust the government and the people do trust the government, and those of us that don't trust them, then we enemy number one. Enemy number one. And most Americans don't know what go on. And I'm one of the cleanest, nicest, non-criminal. I ain't never smoked. I'm 80 years old, man. I ain't never smoked a reefer. Anything white folks said wasn't legal, I didn't do. I smoked cigarettes every day. And so I'm the one, with me and Mark Lane, released the investigation and book that caused the Kennedy King assassination investigation. And the only reason we added King in it, Kennedy, because this racist Congress wasn't going to appropriate the millions it needed to investigate. So all at once, J. Edgar Hoover sent a telex out to the Chicago Bureau to kill Dick Gregory. And that was in '68. Some kind of way I had the memo before the FBI had it. It's somewhere in 1978, the Chicago Tribune found out about it. And those of y'all got computers. It's Chicago Tribune, Friday, March the 10th, 1978. Headline, front page. FBI memo, use mob to kill Dick Gregory. Those are the same folks. Now I tell you about some tapes on King. The late J. Edgar Hoover ordered the Chicago office of the FBI to develop measures to neutralize black comedian Dick Gregory and suggest to use measures could use including alerting La Cosa Nostra. At that time, the FBI had never admitted La Cosa Nostra existed. La Cosa Nostra, to a verbal attack Gregory had made on the crime syndicate. The agent is the filthiest. Crime syndicate is the filthiest thing on the planet. And on, right? So that's what we're talking about in this America.
Well, Brother Gregory, I'm glad you brought all that up, because I want to ask you, really, I definitely want to get your opinion about what happened out in L.A., the Chris Dorner situation, the cop. I mean, what's your take on that?
Well, see, the good thing is happening. We discussed it on Black History Month.
Right.
Before I get to that, we have a document that I've had. The government kept lying and saying it didn't exist, and then all at once they admitted it existed. Also, Malcolm X, when we sued to get the autopsy, wondering why did the government have the autopsy when that wasn't a federal crime? Why did the government have the... So we got the autopsy and we found out why. If you remember, when Malcolm X was in the Ottoman ballroom speaking, somebody threw a smoke bomb in the back of the room, and while everybody was stampeding, trying to get out and screaming and howling, 3 blacks ran up to the front of the stage with guns and fired up at Malcolm. Remember that? When we get the autopsy, all the bullets in Malcolm is going down, which means the CIA and them didn't trust them Negroes enough to give them real bullets. And then the CIA have admitted now that they did rent the Ottoman ballroom 2 weeks before Malcolm was in. That's where they cut the panels. And they didn't say this. I'm saying that's where they cut the panels in the wall. And so it's been going on and on and on. So in King was shot April the 4th, and 1968. Well, we got hold to a doctrine, subject after action report. It's after the government go in and do something, then they make a report of the whole thing. Civil disorder operations. Lantern Spike, that's the code name. Lantern Spike. When did they go in, the 111 military intelligence? They went into Memphis on the 28th of March. Now, King didn't get shot till the 4th of April, and they came out April the 12th. They went in, set up the dirty work, and then stayed there long enough to see if anybody else they had to kill that might have seen something. Central Command Central, U.S. Army Intelligence Command, Fort Hollenberg, Maryland. And it got 28 some pages. Top secret for official use only. And this is the whole action that they had. Military intelligence didn't kill him. The government set it up and put everything in place and had the folks they ordered to kill him. Missed, they was ready to take him out from a balcony across the street on the fire station. So when you sit and you look at this here, and see, so by the way, that case in Lloyd and Taylor, they settled that for $13 million.
Oh, wow.
Which had it not been for the movement folks coming in, and had it not been for us not listening to all the jive that Black Sister with the police department was talking about, it had been disgraced.
But you know what the crazy thing about it is? People want the perfect storm. Like they want the perfect victim, quote unquote, the most innocent lamb. And people are people. People are going to make mistakes. If you live long enough, you make a lot of mistakes. And you get a little bit dirt on you. So why are people so obsessed with folks being like the perfect saint? Because even saints sin. That's
the way you've been programmed. That's what that's about. Look, man, you could come up here and walk down the street today. How many people you think know you around the world?
Not many, right.
Okay, and somebody could kill you. You think people around the world would care?
They wouldn't even know, probably.
Okay, now, after they killed you, 2 days later, they chop your body up to little bitty pieces. Now, it's a worldwide story. People don't care about you dying, most of them. It's the way you die. So then that, gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so when you sit and you look at how they do it, so that story there. Now let me just, since this is Black history, and then I'll go back to show you how vicious California has always been. We went out to work on a case. All of us again, Al Sharp, and 50 people came out to L.A. and then went to Riverside. A black woman who had epileptic seizures was driving home with her nephew, and she felt a seizure coming on. So she pulled over to the side, got out the car and flagged down a driver, a white man, and he said, "Please, I'm about to have an epileptic seizure. This is my nephew. Would you take him to my house and up here and give it to him to my mother and tell her where I am?" And he did. And then the mother rushed, because when you have a seizure, you can bite your tongue off, So the mother got there, and the daughter had, locked all the doors and for her, and then she went into a seizure, and Mom's beating on the window and beating on the window and beating on the window. And she can't wake up. She called the police. Police came there and yelled at her and shot through the window and hit her in the head 14 times. Now, hear this real good now, because it's very important. To show you how the universe steps in. They said, well, she aimed a gun at us. They didn't say she shot it, right? She aimed a gun at us. Can you imagine being a mother or a father that you called the police that killed your daughter? Your child? So now all hell breaks loose. The black folks is angry, and the white folks are saying she deserved what she got aimed at. Nobody talked about the epilepsy. Right? So we all get down there and go and hold demonstrations, and now press comes in and start talking about some things missing. Well, somebody found out when they examined the gun that the gun didn't have a pin in it. That's the firing. Had they said she aimed the gun at us, they probably would have got away. They said she fired at us, right? That's them guns that some cops carry, and after they kill somebody, they throw the bogus gun in. Had a black woman in Atlanta with a black man and a black police chief. 2 o'clock in the morning, cops went into the wrong house and killed a 92-year-old grandmother. The mayor and the police chief defended the 2 white cops, and the mother, the sister, went to church and got her preacher, because they had got one of these little thugs who they can go say anything, because they can put him in jail anytime they want, and he got him to say, oh, he had bought dope in that house. And the sister went by and prayed with him and said, how could you let them do this to my mother? Then he broke down and said, I'm sorry. They came and knocked on my door and said, man, we just effed up. We just killed the wrong person down the street. We need you to come down with us and identify this house that you bought drugs there. And he did. And then they changed it. And the whole story changed. A black mayor and a black police chief, huh?
So Campo Bay and Campo, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, that whole thing cleared up, and I don't know what the settlement was, but it was massive. Now back to L.A. So meanwhile, they keep going, and now the cops are mad, and then we find out through researchers that one of the cops, it was his birthday party. And he was drinking at a bar with his friend on duty when the call came through. And he got there and you see this little black woman there, thinks she's on drugs or crack, and he gets angry that his party's messed up and they shoot her through that. Now we got to go about your urine. When you cop kill somebody, you have to take urine test. Well, we took the test, but on the way to the lab, one of them spilled over. It don't exist, right? Well, that's okay, because they used to good old boys, and nobody's gonna ask them some questions about it, right? So meanwhile, it get deeper and deeper. Now you got 100 cops protesting by shaving their head clean about the way the unions letting black folks treat the cops. More and more is coming out. Eventually they got indicted. And eventually the disgrace is off the family. And you can't get no real justice with your daughter Dawn, with somebody in jail, but at least the lie is there. And I'm sure the lawyers came in. And that's Riverside. So any of y'all listening, you Google that, or Google NAACP and ask them about that trial. And so now we go to California, and there was a document. You saw that, right? He released. Did you see the memorandum that he released threatening 50 people?
Yeah, I saw that, the manifesto, the Chris Dorner. Yes, sir.
Now, wait a minute. Did you see the real one, or did you see the one with all the blackouts in it?
Oh, I saw the one that said it was his. Like he talked about the different things at the end about pop culture references and.
Yeah, but I mean,
okay.
the one of them they released had big black marks marking out the names of the white folks.
I didn't see that one. No, I saw his the original one that was going on.
No, you saw the one that wasn't blacked out.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, when you read that, and after the show, we need to go back and read that again. If it wasn't so long, I'd ask you to read it to your folks.
Mm-hmm.
And you see something. One, there's 2 people wrote that.
Mm.
I don't believe that Dawn was that nice, goody guy that everybody say. Well, I think he was a government agent, and he was going to do some things to kill cops. I knew that 6 months ago they're going to start killing cops. All this here is to get rid of the gun law. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And white folks don't seem to think that you ain't going to get no legislation. They don't seem to know. If I scare you enough, I don't need no law. If you don't believe that, ask black folks.
Mm-hmm.
They never got a law for stopping fish, did they?
Mm-hmm.
They just scared black folks enough. We tolerate. You got black folks in some neighborhood. They got so scared they said, "Could you send the National Guard in?" I can't find no more whiter outfit than that. That's that white boy's summer job.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that's what they fixing to do. That's what they fixing to do. Dornan, he said, "Here's what happened." You know that cop that was brutalizing that person Dawn was talking about, you know that was a white woman cop, right?
Mm-hmm. Sergeant Evans now, Tiffany
you
Evans.
know the guy who they was brutalized was mentally retarded. He was white.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
I didn't know he was white, no sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how they do it when they want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets out, they just, you think it was a Negro, that he might have been lying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they double-crossed him, and see, the CIA and the FBI have always run herd on that L.A. all the way down that department.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's look back to the Thursday when the first 2 people got killed. After that, they said he did it. He went to San Diego, California, and checked in the Hilton Hotel on a naval base. Everybody looking for him.
Mm-hmm.
Manifesto out there. They looking for him. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
He's on naval base. See, there's some stuff with the Navy that Americans don't know about. Where he was above, a million times above Navy SEALs. Navy SEALs don't even know about them.
Mm-hmm.
That was Dornan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't it funny we haven't seen a picture of his mother?
Yes.
We ain't seen nobody in front of his house, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the press don't care. You might not talk to them, but they're going to be in front of your house, in front of your job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you start seeing all the rumble, all the news coming out of this and that, and the people that were scared, and I mean, you almost felt sorry for those thugs he was talking about, because he mentioned those guys was saying all that nasty stuff about Jews all the time. Mentioned their names, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And all of this, but if you notice, towards the end of it, the black folks he was talking about tend to be kind of right wing,
Mm-hmm.
So how could this guy that sounds left, right, so upset about police brutality? The whole government operation. Now let's move to the day when he tried to steal a yacht. Remember?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Went to the yacht club, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tied up this 80-year-old man and realized there was some rope around the propeller. Hey, man, he's trained. He's trained to go all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's an easy job. Cut the rope off your propeller, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But more than that, I mean, you mean the yacht club just had one yacht? And the other thing which made strange sense, they said he he went from there. He was going to go from there to Mexico, right?
Right.
Can you imagine a guy this smart and this high up in intelligence? He's so stupid. He didn't know that you better not go across that water on your way to Mexico in a yacht. The Coast Guard will stop you, search, probable cause to see if you got guns running, drugs, or money laundering. So he's too smart for that. And so I was saying that whole time they're looking for him. They didn't probably killed him. He didn't know that. So now he reemerges up in the hills, in the mountains, right?
Big Bear, yes.
And we find out that he kidnapped a man and his wife. They didn't live there. They owned those villas. They was coming just to clean them up because they had some people coming in. They had some people coming in, all right. So when they get there, he's there in the house. Huh? Now let me tell you where this house that he's in is located, right across the street from the police's command center.
Right.
Okay? And, it's always good when you counting something is to check the police scanner, not the 911. And then listening to the police scanner, they heard something shocking. They heard one of the cops say, kill him up, burn him up, right? They never tried to explain that, but they said, well, don't worry about that. We'll explain that in a little while. Now let's go back to Sandy Hook, Newtown. Huh? Did you hear the tapes off the police scanner with that?
No, I heard people. You talked about it, and also people made reference to it in different articles I read. Yeah,
well, you can pull it up. It's the police scanner. It's the cop. Hollywood actors. He's the cop. He said, we got one in the car. We got another one down on the ground handcuffed. And we have there's another one with a gun. We'll bring him in. Like that. Now they tell us it was. And from my folks, they said the three came in dressed as nuns. A mile and a half down the street from the school where all that killing was going on, the United States government was running a dry run on how to defend schools against terrorists. Huh? A mile and a half, 500 people, ambulances, fire, everything, and nobody knew this was going on. And so when you stop and think about, the games that this government plays. So now let's go back to that night. We all watched it on TV, right? And then they said, oh, it's on fire. It's on fire.
Right.
And then the first thing you think about what they said, burn the MF up. Huh? So now they keep showing you the fire and the fire and the fire. And then they said, well, it's over. We think it's dead. Look, they have these planes can fly over anything, anybody, and pick up your heat shield. So they knew how many people was in that place or how many wasn't in there, right? So now they say we sure is dead, but the place is so hot, we can't go in there till morning. Morning came, and then a little while later we heard the story that some cops must have took some pictures. And they trying to sell them to the press. You saw that, right? And they saying that his head, top of his head was gone where he shot himself in the head. How many people shoot themselves in the top of their head, man? It's crazy. Who shoot themselves in the top of see, the rest of the face, his teeth is there. His dental work is intact. Got one leg, one arm missing. His penis is there. Now, let me tell you what that was about. That was to say to the whole world, we did not do what you heard somebody say do on the tape, right? Burn the MF up. Well, this is proof that he's not burned up. We see his eyeball. Wait a minute. Y'all told us that fire was so hot, y'all couldn't even go in there.
Right.
Till the next day. Now, you tell me you found all of this? That's like a couple of days before they found his driver's license in San Diego. Did you see that? He left his driver's license, his police gun, his police shield, and his badge. Say, wait. When cops get fired, don't you take their gun, their shield, and their badge? Come on, y'all. Come on. What, New York Times, y'all going crazy.
Yeah, right.
What is this about?
Mhm.
Huh? And look, it ain't over yet. No. This a huge operation.
Mhm.
And you're gonna see some mess because they after the guns. They do the same thing Hitler and them Nazis did. They scared them Germans and made them turn in their guns because what they fixing to do in this country, they can't afford to have people with guns. And then right-wingers, they've been knowing about this plan for over 50 years, right?
Mhm.
And so this is what that was about. And you sorry for the families, but it was people saying, well, why Negroes is funny, man.
Right.
But why did he have to? I can understand it, but killing innocent. Wait a minute, y'all make it because you know there's a 10-year period, and every other month some white boy walk in the post office and start wiping people out.
Mhm.
You haven't heard of that in about 4 years, right? So then they must have fixed something, right? They said, well, wait a minute, each of us got the same pattern. They're all white. They all been abused.
Mhm.
And so now we better fix this, okay? I didn't hear no Negroes saying, how come they had to kill innocent people? What gives you the authority to comment just on black things?
Right.
Little black child walking around with their pants hanging down. Well, the mafia never. You ever looked outside your house or drive around, see a door pusher on the corner? They pants ain't hanging down below their butt. Them cops that's help place dope and shielding folks, they pants is not that. The blade man, he didn't have his pants hanging down below his butt. What are y'all trying to say, man? The mafia is the most immaculately dressed people on the planet. Italian tailors, man, make them up. So why don't y'all stop being crazy and just leave stuff alone? Because you're not. Well, anyway, the girl. Is it funny that when all that major shooting happened one day after another, it happened the day that the Senate opened up hearings on gun law. Every
it's a
day
big
you
Hollywood
pick up,
production.
Yeah, every day you picked up the paper. It was DA shot in San Diego, and then the little young black girl in Chicago that was here,
Right.
Washington D.C. Now here we need to put a pin there. Who cares publicly about a black person getting killed in Chicago? And had she not been here at the White House marching, the president didn't know she's here.
Right.
Just another man. And so, wait a minute now. Then you go look, and they found them punks, man. 2 days. So wait a minute. And black folks is not mad or women. How come if you're just an ordinary black person that had never been to the White House,
Right.
and they can't find you? No, we're going to put a stop to this. Now, I lived in Chicago for 25 years, and where that happened was 4 blocks from where I used to live, Hyde Park, Kenwood area. So, 6 blocks from where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad lived. There was no drive-bys have ever been permitted in that neighborhood. Okay, none. Now here's the story. They say she was standing at the bus stop with a group of people. Didn't say she was with them. A group of people waiting on a bus. When they arrested these guys, one of them had a hickey on his head, big as my knee. I wonder what kind of whooping they gave him. And here's the story. They drove by, and they saw this group of people. They thought it was a gang. Now, you can't tell the difference between gang members and women and men and old folks and young folks standing in the bus stop. Now, hear this. They drove around, got out the car. Did that sound like a drive-by?
No.
And came back. And that's when they killed her. You mean you shooting across the street, and all you can kill is one person? Was she a marked person? Is that part of the information around the world? take the guns away. And then the day that the head of the National Rifle Association, that's when the dude in Alabama shot the bus, killed the bus driver, and took the 6-year-old boy. And the whole time the hearing was going on, this was going on, Equal News. And then the hearing ended that night, and that's when they released the boy that night and killed the guy. They had drones up there. Panella and all of them was investigating it. They said, wait, who is this guy y'all killed? Who is this guy? Who is this? Wait a minute. They had soldiers. They had military folks there. Wait a minute. It's bigger than they telling us, huh? So that's the game, and that's how it works. And so you have that whole internal struggle going on. And so now you got the Pope. And
are we gonna have a black Pope because of this? Are they gonna bring in a black Pope now? We had one before. We had 3 of them right before.
Oh yeah, we ain't talking about way back then. You had 3 black Popes. Yeah, you had. You had that. See, you cloud it when you tell my grandmother about this one and tell about the other ones. So you give her something that's fresh that she can tap into.
Right.
I had the document that took the Pope down, I guess 18 months ago. It's just circulated out there now. You got to do is punch up the Vatican, the dark side.
Vatican dark side. Okay.
And it's about the crusade never ended.
And
then it says murder, banking, the Vatican. They talk about drug running. It's let's see how many pages. It's and then they talk about his gay thing, and they talk about the guy, his lover. They call him Gorgeous George. And so it's but here's how you see through stuff like that. The Vatican is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Over 1 billion people, right?
Right.
Do you know how uncouth and irresponsible you are to quit the job? Would give me 2 weeks' notice for organization that large? If you're talking about you're sick, you knew you were sick 3 years ago, man.
Right.
Why did you wait? See, the Mardi Gras, he announced it Sunday morning after the big week at the Mardi Gras. See, the Mardi Gras is a Catholic thing. And then he stepped down, and then Mardi Gras reached its height on Ash Wednesday, and you take a fast for 40 days and hit your head with an ash, and then the next big thing is Easter, and they said we sure will have a new pope by Easter. But also punch up the AP story on the Knights of Malta.
Okay.
They marched on the Vatican. It was their 900th anniversary. And 900 of them went and met with the Pope, and I guess that's where they gave him his orders to step down. But you can pull that up. That's an AP story. And then there's also a story that, what's the big white magazine store with a V on all the newsstands?
The Vibe or?
Huh?
Well, you talking about a magazine named Vibe or?
No, that's black. I'm talking about the big white one that's on all.
Variety or?
No. It's a major magazine. Variety is an entertainment magazine. I'll think of it in a minute. But they got the Italian section. They write a big story this month about the Pope's lover, and the headlines is this is the lover saying being beautiful is not a sin.
Oh Lord.
But you see that's if not, I'll call you back and find the magazine. But I'm saying this is the games that they play, and so I got on the radio that day when he said, and I said, wow, I asked the question you did. Newspaper reporters come from all over the world lining up. Who going to be the next pope? And I said, from my research, we found out that the highest ranking cardinal who has the most respect is a cardinal from Spain, Scacola, Cardinal Scacola.
Mm-hmm.
But the Vatican said, no, he won't do because they can't have a pope named Pope Scacola. Oh.
All right.
And so they probably already picked who it would be a black who was supposed to have it last time, or someone from South America, not Spain, and there might be an indictment of this pope now, and the cardinal in L.A. who they
the Mahoney, is his name Mahoney or something?
Yeah, serious trouble for covering up. See, at the time they was covering up the big pedophile thing. That this pope was a cardinal in Germany, and him and Mahoney was assigned to handle that, to keep the cover up going on, all that to come out.
And Pope John Paul knew about it. He assigned him, right? I mean,
yeah.
So he's not that much of a saint.
Yeah, no, they gonna bust his same thing. No, they gonna stop that anyway because he's Polish. Do you know when he became the first Polish pope in the history? 1.5 million white folks left the church. Is that kind of outrageous? So it's so much going on now, and it's kind of, nothing surprises me, but I did look a little surprised about the London Guardian. The GQ magazine was the one that broke the story about the General Petraeus and all them thugs was overthrowing the government. You heard about that, right?
Yeah, you told me about it. I mean, it's crazy.
And they can't bust them outright because the world economy. If you and I were trillionaires, I think I told you that, and we had trillions of dollars invested back and found out there was almost about to be an overthrow, then we would we snatch our money out. Well, that was what they was going to do, and I think I told you they was going to kill Romney a week before the election. Then they had to pick somebody else, and then General Petraeus would take his place, and now he'd have been there, been inauguration. But the reason I brought this up is to tell you this: not one American newspaper other than GQ. If you pick up the date, the Guardian, the London Guardian, Carl Bernstein.
Okay.
Thursday, 20th of December, 2012, 10:41 Eastern Standard Time. Why the U.S. media ignores the resort bid to hijack the presidency. The London Guardian, one of the most respected papers. And they did a 2-page thing on why the New York Times, Washington Post, none of them touched it. And then when they did kind of touch it, they put in the style section. Just
really
hand and mouth and cheek,
But it's like kind of like what happened with General Smedley Butler, the fighting Quaker, the most decorated Marine in U.S. history, when he went to the press about the bankers on Wall Street trying to overthrow FDR's presidency back in the 30s and make him president. Like he.
Wait, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. You need to. Do you have the whole document? That was the business people.
Yes, sir.
And they shot at him in Miami at a speech and missed him and hit
Mayor of Chicago. Yeah.
Mayor of Chicago and killed him. Yeah. And so that it's that whole piece. They couldn't talk about that. And I'm sure they rounded them all up. And so we're going through some weird stuff. But it's kind of interesting about the Guardian would expose these papers here, but the Guardian, when Kate Middleton will be the next queen, and she went in the hospital 3 weeks ago and had morning sickness. Remember that? She went in there for a drug overdose, and when that nurse must have found out or said something, that's when they found her dead, and they said it was suicide. The Guardian didn't print that. So it's wild out here, man. I say all this to say thank you just for being here, man. But,
I mean, it's an honor just to be, getting out of this, man. I feel like you're a mentor, a teacher for me. And I just want you, are you confirming that Chris Dorner is dead? You feel like he's dead after that?
I think he's been dead. I think they killed him after the first day or before that, That's,
so you believe he killed all those people, or you think that was a setup too?
No, wait. I'm going to say this again. Would he kill 2 people on Thursday and show up at the Hilton Hotel on a naval base? No, it might have, but they show how connected he is with them. But you do things and you don't know the people you doing it for, and they don't kill you. They got out there what they need.
Yeah, because, I never seen his mom on TV. I know they said Jesse Jackson seen her offering, his services to help him turn himself in. But they have been showing his quote-unquote best friend from college on TV.
You said they have?
They have shown his best friend.
Yeah, wait. They show us who they say is his best friend.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to get at. So, I never seen his mom make a public statement on anything like that.
Yep.
So that's
like I say, this press here, they would stand in front of your house, Mom.
Right.
You can't hide from them. Now, you might not say anything, but they're going to be there with you.
Well, let me ask you about this, too. We talk about women and the power of rap and Black History Month. I know you heard about the Lil Wayne lyric that was in a song about being that pussy up like Emmett Till, something to that persuasion. And there was a huge outcry about what he said. And I know the Emmett Till Foundation had an open letter that went out this week. I just want to get your thoughts on the whole thing.
Well, the thoughts are that ain't Lil Wayne and them doing. You think Lil Wayne, you think them punks own all that stuff they out there selling? All you got to do is put a serious thing together and say, okay, Lil Wayne, since you don't make no money on that, here's what we're going to do. We're going to ask black folks and decent white folks to boycott Christmas next year. Unless we don't get them. Now, they can't afford to have you do that. They couldn't even take a threat. Unless you volunteer not to make another record for 5 years, since you don't know how to behave. And then white folks will go there and pull their chain so fast they say he commit suicide. We have the power to stop that because we have the money to stop it. We have the political will. What we don't have is the thing in our head, that make us. First, when we understand that we as African Americans do not live in a community. The black community, come on, y'all, the black community. Communities where you control the cops, you control the education, you control the banks, you control the business, I'm in Washington, D.C., where black folks is in the minority, right? So if the government was having a minority business meeting today, that shouldn't be nobody sure but white folks, right?
Right.
Since they in the minority in Washington, D.C. And so, no, you can handle that. We can handle it. First, we got to plan it and say, okay, here's how we're going to do it. Let's send messages. Let's 1 day a week. You pick the date. It's going to be on your honor. We're not going to drive our cars. If you got to work, you got a budget to take you to work this day and this day. Oh, they would listen then. They would listen then. Don't let that Lil Wayne money come in the black community. Huh? That's the same people runs that same ones that killed Michael and Whitney. They said, well, Whitney drowned, but those of us that knew Whitney never took a bath in a public toilet. Public bathtub, okay? Okay, so how did she change her mind that day, right? And so it's just the games. What
about I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
About what?
Oh, I'll ask you about the Jesse Jackson Jr. situation. This is a case of the sins of the father, chicken come home to roost. Or what's your take on Jesse Jackson Jr. and his wife situation?
You really don't know. I thought something was kind of weird that happened yesterday. Not yesterday. It happened
the day before, like Wednesday or something.
Wednesday, so I go get all my Thursday papers, and the only paper had Jesse Jackson Jr.'s picture on the front page, full blown, was the Wall Street Journal, not the Washington Post, New York Times, not Wall Street. And I said, I wonder if they put it on the front page because they're so angry that he do his Wall Street thing, And so, it's sad, I mean, what he's been through, the torment and the torture, and nobody mentioned drugs, but that don't mean drugs wasn't involved. Nobody mentioned alcohol, that don't mean alcohol wasn't involved. That goes along with depression, And just thank God if he can get his strength together, and Bill Clinton gave everybody a page on how to do it, just smile and keep going. Pay your debt and do it, right? But you're just sad. You're saddened and hope. I mean, they could kill him tonight. I don't think they will, unless there's something going on I don't know about. But why wouldn't everybody think he committed suicide? Huh?
Right. I mean, it's an easy setup. I mean, if he already depressed, clinically depressed, whatever. Yeah. Getting treatment. I mean, it'd be easy to say, it just overwhelmed him.
Yeah.
Like, even got.
And then you think about the children, man. He got 2 children, and I don't know their ages, but you can imagine who's going to take care of them while they in jail. Right?
So you say they are going to jail. They doing some time.
Oh, they're going to do some time, yeah.
They're going to get a pardon probably by President Obama towards the end.
No, he can't be that bold, son.
Not even towards the end of his second term, he can't do it.
He can't. I'm telling you, he can't be that bold. Come on, I wouldn't, and I know Jesse. I know Jesse. There's some people, but
that's why you wouldn't, you know Jesse.
They haven't got Obama to agree to a pardon for Jack Johnson, and McCain was one of the ones that brought it forth. Huh?
Hey, there's something. McCain, of all people.
Yeah, McCain. You know the story about McCain. McCain would have been in jail, or maybe in the electric chair had it not been for Dick Nixon. You know the story?
No, I didn't know it. Wow, he killed a lot of people.
He was the worst traitor since Benedict Arnold. When he was captured over in Hanoi, he told on everybody, man. He made tapes to say, I'm a war criminal. I dropped bombs on schoolhouses and killed children and women. That was him. He wasn't lying, but but to show you how the good old white boy hangs out, none of them talk about it. When they debating it, man, the debate gets hot. They never call it Democrats nor Republicans. That's that old white boy thing, huh?
But he was even born in this country. He was born in Panama, and also he's a traitor to the country. And they always talk about Obama not being born here and being a traitor.
Yeah, but that's white privilege. That's white privilege. That is white privilege.
Well, speaking of Obama, I know a documentary came out last year, Dreams from Our Real Father, that said that Obama's father, Senior, is not really his real father, but it's another guy who's a socialist. They had roots in Chicago. Do you buy any of that at all?
Oh, I don't know, but shit, my daddy might not be my daddy. They got some, what's it say? Mama's baby, Papa's maybe. They pull all that up on you when they want to. But you see, he was a socialist. They don't just stop and say this ain't his daddy. His daddy was a socialist. And I don't understand why white folks be hating up on the way they do. His mama was white, so at least like 50% of him.
I guess 50% enough of the country liked him enough to get him elected again. So, well, and also I go ask you too, people never say. I said 50% of the country liked him enough to get elected. Over 50%, I guess. Liked him enough. They deal with him enough.
Suppose he didn't get elected.
That's true. Suppose I was like,
Chicago, they know how to steal elections.
Oh yeah, like Farrakhan said, he was elected before he was elected. I agree with that. Chicago is a gangster city. And also I would say, why not Chicago bring back Larry Hoover and Jeff Fort? It seemed like they could control the gangs better than the city can. Well,
they was government agents too. Jeff Ford and them, they was picked by Dr. Beadle at the University of Chicago through the government. All that nothing but trickery, man.
So everything is just a game.
I was there. You should get the book, Committee of 300, page 86. He's a former British intelligence, M16. Page 86, he talk about how the Bloods and the Crips was put together at Stanford University. It's a game. These are games they play.
Committee of 300. I mean, Stanford also is involved in eugenics, right? These guys was involved in helping Hitler, all them guys, understand how to do eugenics, right?
Yeah.
And also, I got
the University of Chicago.
University of Chicago, Stanford, and University of Virginia.
No, the big one, the book on eugenics. That was University of Virginia. They took that book and used it word for word. They didn't invent that in Germany. They invented it right here at University of
America, boy. Nothing like American genocide.
It's just like everybody talking about the constitutional right to carry a gun. And they keep quoting it. The constitutional right happened in South Carolina. A group of slaves, we still had them African genes running through them, made them some bolo knifers and beheaded 75 white folks and killed over 200. That's when James Madison wrote the Second Amendment to give white folks guns, to control them collards. Had nothing to do with your defense, huh? So, and they about to lose them. Now white folks don't know that's why it was put on the books, but you can find it if you look at the author of this. And James Madison was so cool because he was in the room with them when they signed the United States Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and he didn't sign because they wouldn't put a provision that would do away with slavery. That's how cool he was. But when it comes to fear, when it comes to being scared, man, everything changed.
Who was this that was cool like that?
Huh?
Who was the person name again?
James Madison.
Okay, James. Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you one more thing. I know at Rosa Parks they're going to do a tribute to her coming up this week. But what about a tribute to Representative Attn Powell Jr.? I mean, it's like he did a lot for us, and it's like he got forgotten about, so to speak, over the years.
Yeah, because he did it with an arrogance. He told white folks to kiss his butt, and so that happens. That's the price you pay. Price you pay when you do it your way. And so, no, he's in 1935, man. Adam Clayton Powell was leading marches on Sac Fifth Avenue because they wouldn't hire no Negroes. Adam Clayton Powell, one of the brilliant minds, man. He was all the social legislation that's respected around the world today. Adam Powell wrote that. The only good thing about it, in a sad way, that when the universal God pick you, it leaves no footprints. You don't have to be validated. But it'd be nice for him to get his just day in court. Maybe that's our job to do. That's our job.
I mean, you actually knew him, though. You personally knew him.
We used to hang out, drink together, went to Bimini together. What a brother. What a brother. We'd always go check Malcolm out. Laugh at him, laugh. Malcolm was a funny dude, man. You get me, him, and Adam together, man. You ain't seen no fun. We tell Malcolm, okay, doctor, we're going to let you go on to bed now and go to prayer meeting. We're going out and get us some barbecue ribs and a couple of white ladies. And we'll catch you tomorrow when we're tired, huh?
Wow, that's great. I thought, man, you called about the football and stuff. And what were your thoughts about the Super Bowl? I mean, I know you probably didn't look at it, but you heard about the blackout that happened. Yeah,
well, that was more of a blackout than most folks thought it was. The blackout Super Bowl. Well, before I tell you what I think it was.
Okay.
They have a lot of storms and hurricanes in that area, right? So businesses like the Super Bowl that has millions of frozen food, right? millions of beer on ice, right?
Mhm.
Thousands of pounds of ice, drinks and stuff. Right? You mean they didn't have a backup system? We don't have to go no further than that.
Mm.
They didn't have a backup system.
Yeah,
you know, little stores down there where you live. You know,
Mhm.
they got backup system. The college football game, basketball got a backup system.
Right.
They didn't have a backup, and you know, all the lights didn't go out that night, didn't you?
Mm.
Did you know that?
I didn't know
50%. 50%. They could have still played the game, but the scoreboard went out.
Mm.
The communication system that the referees and the coaches used went out.
Mm.
So they had to shut it down. And so my son called and said, "Dad, who do you think I should bet on tonight?" I said, "Well, say two prayers. Pray to Jesus, and then pray to the mob. One of them going to win." One of them going to win. Or if you really want to get into it, pray to the spirit of them black women that died inside of that Superdome during Katrina. Pray to their spirit. This is the first Super Bowl they've had since then. Now, let's look at it. We found out the blackout didn't happen from inside, right?
Mhm.
Well, where are their spirits? They somewhere, but you know they ain't there.
Mhm.
Did you know Beyonce, she did 29 minutes. The light stayed out 33 minutes.
Mhm.
You know when the lights came back on? Central Standard Time, 9/11, 9/11.
Wow, I didn't think about that.
Tell me about the sister. Tell me about them sisters. And I dare you to have another one here. The way you treated us in this building. Oh, but you didn't know who we were. You know now. You know, you spend millions of dollars trying to find out what happened, and you can't. We did it. That's like the hurricanes is nothing but the spirit of the black women, black slave women that died on the trip. All hurricanes, that's why they call her, it's a black woman. All hurricanes started West Africa, the very spot where the slaves was put on the ship. All hurricanes stay on the water and follow the same path that the slave ships followed. No slave was offloaded the ship till it got to the Caribbean. No hurricane jumps above water till it get to the Caribbean. It will hit this country, come all the way up the East Coast, all the way to Maine. Now, Canada is as close to Maine in some parts as you are to me, but Canada's never had a hurricane because Canada never treated a black woman the way America treated her. So when it gets up there in Maine, going across to Canada, it turns north and go back out to the sea. Never had one go over. I tell people, been telling them for years, two strongest forces in the history of America is the black woman and the black church. And one day when we find out who that black woman is, then we'll be back at our rightful spot once again.
A lot of stuff. I appreciate this. Yeah. I think I covered everything I need to cover for the most part.
All right.
You gave so much information, as usual. Did you have anything like about Rosa Parks? I know you told me about Rosa Parks and Emmett Till. Do you have any other Rosa Parks story offhand?
Yeah. Well, first Rosa Parks' feet wasn't tired. Rosa Parks was mad about something, and I'll tell you what she explained to me. Rosa Parks, see, what we didn't know, that didn't live there, that you couldn't ride in the front of the bus, but when the bus pulled up at the corner, you could get on the front door, pay your fare, then you had to get off the front and go back to the back. a couple of times, because of Rosa's attitude, she wasn't smiling and flirting with the white boy. When she got off, he drove off and left her. She told me had she knew that was him before she put her, she wouldn't have got on. See how the universe works? One little thing turned one way and everything comes out a different way. She didn't know it was him. And had he drove off and left her, we wouldn't be talking the way we're talking now. So she got on the bus and sat down. The law. Bus driver didn't make you sit there. The law said Negroes sit behind the halfway mark. White folks did. So if a white person sit in the back, they could be arrested. That was the law. So she decided she didn't decide. She sat where Negroes supposed to sit. 3 stops later, the front filled up. White guy got on. He was just standing there. Wasn't bothering him. Somebody talked to him. He came and talked to somebody. He said he was getting off 2 more stops. He might standing. So the bus driver saw her and walked back there and said, "Hey, gal." See the bus's front full, move up. Nigger, and sit in the back. She just looked at him. Now, here's what you have to do. If she got up, see that whole row, the 2 seats, her row, the next seat, or to her left, the 2 seats was full. The law is no white guy can sit in a seat next to a person, next to a Negro, or in a row that Negroes are sitting across. So 4 people would have had to get up to give him a seat. That's not why she did it. She sit there. Now, here's the power. Now, she didn't come from no chump family. Her daddy sit on the front porch every night with a gun, dad him to come up to his house. Why? He was mad. He was light complected. He wanted to be a Garvey knight, but Garvey didn't take no like Negroes. he was mad. Oh, God, he was best. So he going to get even for whoever made him this light, so he disqualified from being a Garvey knight. And so what happened is about 18 months before she did that, a black soldier, no organization, no nothing, came home and said, "Damn, I'm going to take this here. I'm in the military." So he stood up front, and they snatched him off the bus, stomped him to death, lynched him, and threw him in the water. She knew it. All the Negroes knew it. And then about 12 months after that, another soldier, no kin, just said, I've had enough is enough. They stomped him to death and lynched him and threw him away. So she knew the chances of her ever seeing daylight again. Cops would come rape her, do anything they wanted to her, then kill her, lynch her, hang her. She knew that's a possibility. She did it anyway. So I'm with her one day. We just laughing and talking. I said, "Girlfriend, let me ask you something. How did you do that?" Everybody talk about your feet was tired. And I looked at her, "You got some pretty little old feet, too. Your feet don't get tired." She told me she's almost incoherent when she was saying it. She said, "I just couldn't get that boy Emmett Till out my mind." Just like that. Emmett Till. So Emmett Till's mother, thank you, Mother, because had you not opened up the coffin, we wouldn't know what Rosa Parks was talking about. Funeral is a personal thing, you know, especially with family. Emmett Till's mother said, no. Let's open this coffin, let the world see what they did to my boy. It was held in Chicago, the funeral. 500,000 people showed up. Not 500,300,000 either fainted or needed smelling salts after looking at that horrible picture, what they did. So that was one person being at the right place, like Mississippi, and getting lynched.
Also, I want to thank you also for what you did for Clyde Kennard. I think that's how you say his name, correct? Clyde Kennard.
Yeah, it's Clyde Kennard, yeah.
And what are your thoughts about him? Because he's somebody that's been forgotten about, too. I mean, he had suffered a horrible atrocity down there.
Well, he went to jail because he wanted to integrate school.
Mm-hmm.
in southern Mississippi school. And he tried to integrate, and they tried to stop him and pay him money. He didn't, so one day police showed up. He had chicken for him, a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, arrest him for stealing chicken feed, not stealing chicken feed. Gave him 7 years in jail.
Mm.
And in the process, they found out he had cancer so bad that he was about to die. And somebody told me about it, and I went down and investigated and said, well, at this time, the best thing they have is cobalt treatment, and it's just 4 places have a cobalt machine. University of Chicago is one of them, and we can go into court and get them to take you in there because cobalt cannot be owned by nobody but the government, which means it's ours. And so you getting it for free. So we went into court, and that's how we made him take Clyde Kennard. And we got enough publicity on it. He was still in Parchment Penitentiary, but the POR was so hard, and the Cold War was on, and people was ashamed. And so they just pardoned him and let him come up, but it was too late. He came up and got the cobalt treatment, but it was too late. Clyde Kennard. Yeah.
And what type of person was he? I mean, what type of person was he when you met him?
I didn't know him. Remember, he'd been in jail. Somebody told me about him. And I just went down and found out he was dying, so, I ain't going to ask him what kind of person he was. He can be a dead one in a few minutes.
Oh, that ain't funny, but I know you're saying. Mm-hmm.
But, no, I didn't know him. Other than, my involvement. We met, hugged, and I lived right around the corner from the University of Chicago. We just hoping that he would live, but he was so weak, he wasn't in no mood for conversation,
Also, I know it's I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yep.
I was making reference to so many things I thought was honorable and commendable that President Obama allowed Marilyn Everett Williams to do the invocation at the inauguration, given that it's the 50th anniversary of his death coming up. I know you were very much involved with Medgar Evers.
Mm-hmm.
I think you was there the day I read your autobiography, Nigger. You were actually there the day before he got killed. You had to go back to Chicago because you lost a child.
My son died, yeah.
Yes.
So I had to go back, and I told him when I hugged him and kissed him goodbye, I said, man, I sure would like to be here to die with you, but I'll miss this one.
And what did he say? I mean, how did he respond to that?
Oh, we just come off a rally, man, and we all could see the police acting strange. See, I thought they was going to kill us that night when I had to go back to his house because you couldn't stay in a hotel down there. But my Delta flight came in late, and so we didn't have time to get the bags.
Mm-hmm.
And so we left them in the car. We didn't have time to take them back to the house. And the rally was packed, man. You could see those white folks, them sheriffs, and them smirky glens out there. I think they're going to take us down tonight, doctor. I think they're going to get us. And that's when my wife called the church and told him to call home. And he came to me, and I said, well, no, man, I'm keeping my eye on these cops. I think they're going to throw a bomb in here. But he knew my son had died. He just didn't want to tell me. No, she said, so your son's real sick. I said, I can't help him. She said, go ahead, call home. Your son had just died. I said, well, I can't save him. He's dead. We talking about liberation. We talking about this church being blown up. So then after it was over, and my son not died, I went back home with him. And that's where Della Becker was waiting to gun us down. And the only reason it took Della Becker so long to be prosecuted because he didn't have no money, and the way he got his $50,000, President Kennedy, out of all the pieces of land in the world to buy, he decided he would buy that piece of his land to build a post office on.
Mm.
Yep. And so that's what it's about.
Did you go to his funeral? You were able to go to his funeral? And
oh, my God. That's my bosom partner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did I ever?
And then, is it true that they did not allow Dr. King to speak at the funeral, the NACP? Is that true? Or?
Oh, I didn't. I didn't know none of that was going on. I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry. Actually, I know I don't want to let you go. I'm sorry. You got somebody like Dr. T.M. Howard. What are you? I mean, I know you know him because of, I mean, what are your thoughts about him? Why he's not better remembered today? I mean, he like he did a lot of things for people, for us as a people.
I didn't hear the name.
Dr. T.M. Howard. Why do you think he's not better remembered today?
Where did he live? There was a Dr. Howard in Chicago.
He was from Mount Bayou. He was actually Everett's mentor, moved up to Chicago.
He was an abortionist, man. Everybody scared of him. I'm talking about before abortion. For white folks, we knew about abortion. Oh no, now, man, you got somebody pregnant, or you got pregnant on the hand. See, doc. So I'm sure that's the reason.
He's just such a brilliant guy. I mean, he's the reason why Emmett Till Mobley stayed with him during the trial for Emmett Till murderers, and it's like he did a lot of things for black folks in the movement.
No, he did. Yeah, but so did pimps and hustlers who they would buy us candy and school papers and stuff like that. If people have a bad thing, a whole lot of people, I didn't have nothing wrong with it at the time. My wife got pregnant with the first baby, Michelle. I didn't want to get married. She's over at the University of Chicago. I just went to a black pharmacist and told me I got this woman pregnant. This before anybody ever heard of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than locally in Chicago. So he said, man, this will knock an elephant out, right? So I carried it to her house and gave it to her. I saw her like a month later. She was so big. I said, what do you do? I didn't say I was going to take it. What? So Michelle is 54 years old now. Has 2 PhDs from the London School of Economics and sex harassment at the workplace. There's nobody on the planet that had a degree in that. So if she came in to testify for you tomorrow, they can't bring nobody else in because she's recognized as the only authority. So when me and Lil went to London to see her graduate, Lil grabbed me and said,
that was a blessing.
I said, I can't be proud. If you took that stuff, she wouldn't have been there. How you feel now? I said, I still think you should have took it.
Oh, wow.
And I told Michelle, I said, all the thanks go to your mother. If you listen to me, you would not be here. Oh, Dad, you don't feel that way. You want to try me again? Try me again. And so, when I sit around and think about it, I had 10 children, and the universal God gave me that right to produce 10 other gods, and didn't ask me what color, how much money did I have, where do you live, what school do you go to, how good do you do math. So that God gave me the right to produce 10 gods, and I never went to bed with Lil to produce a god. I was just getting some yank. And when I stop and think, I never bought a car. I didn't know the make, the model, the down payment, the monthly notes, the insurance, the license, the trade-in. And when I got to look in the mirror every now and then and realize I put more planning into owning a car than creating God's new life. So I'm part of the problem on the planet. I can't speak for other folks. And I would get out tomorrow and demonstrate for a woman's right to divorce. I just hate the fact that men determines that. Men determines that. Men. And so we're going to get all over in their stuff. And I know a whole lot of men that's against abortion. But if they got a little 17-year-old girl pregnant in high school, they would run to the abortion thing. Okay? So when I think about it, time I get on a plane to go to a peace rally, they take tax money off my first-class ticket and give it to the government to buy bombs and guns to drop on women and children in schools all over the world. So when the bombs and the stuff start falling on my wife and my grandchildren, I just look up or around wherever God is and say, even, baby, I wonder what took you so long. That's how it goes.
So thank you, Brother Dick, so much. I mean, it's always wonderful, and we love you madly in the words of the great Duke Ellington. And keep on keeping on. We need you. And thank you so much.
Thank you, babe. Love.
Love.
Bye-bye.
Bye.